I know you always put a great effort on educational aspects when performing, but also, I mean, as soon as you are up on stage, you are also stylistically in your clothes a role model for the kids who are watching you. What do you think was your message stylistically that you sent out to them?
There was no real message that I was sending out other than psychologically wanting to rock the party. And that means that the colors that I wear sets up the mentality of the audience to get ready to party. Or the certain clothes that I wear, like I would wear a jacket onto the stage, rip it off and throw it away. That gives the impression that I'm getting ready to get busy. But to do that, you have to wear a certain jacket that you can rip off and throw away. You can't wear a button-down jacket that I'm wearing now. Or you can wear it but don't button it up. Otherwise, you'd be on stage like this. You gotta have a zip, open, wham. Or snaps, clack, 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 clack. I'm ripping it off, y'all. And you're throwing it away. That's really it for the psychology. No real statement or message was made like as to say I'm wearing rebel clothing, or I'm wearing the corporate look, or I'm wearing the schoolboy or girl look. It was just more or less my psychology to the audience is what dictated the message that was coming off of my clothes.
Could you say something about feminine and masculine hip-hop style?
More specific. Be more specific.
Well, rap music and hip-hop style has always been a more masculine-orientated style. Where do the women fit in there?
To answer that question, you have to broaden it beyond hip-hop. The American society, and I would even say the society of most European countries, including America as a European country, is a masculine-driven society on a whole. So women psychologically fall into the psychological ramifications of male-dominated fashion because it's a male-dominated society. Where does hip-hop fit into that? We, as a culture, fit into the masculine society on a whole. So women, there's not too much fashion that women can wear and say it's hip-hop. Although there's been a burst of Liz Claiborne clothing that has now been eyed by the hip-hopper, that men don't wear Liz Claiborne stuff. Women wear that, but it's looked at as a hip-hop fashion statement. Snakeskin pumps and these kind of things. Chanel 9 boots and bag. This kind of thing has just recently caught the attention of hip-hop. And so women these days now are saying that we can wear a Versace for women, or Anne Klein for women, or Chanel for women clothing, feel feminine, know that it's for women, but still be a part of the hip-hop, because now hip-hop has accepted these major designers into the fashion of hip-hop. But when you get down to the traditional hip-hop gear, it goes into an era that came out before all of this was acceptable, and that era is predominantly male-driven. Women would have to look like, I guess, little tomboys to be accurately in hip-hop gear from 1990 on back.
I would like you to comment on the song from Public Enemy, Shut 'Em Down. You know the lyrics, I won't have to repeat it. Okay, please.
Well, from what perspective? There was a lot of things said in there. He was talking about alcohol. He was talking about materialism in general. He was also talking about the organization actually he was talking about the organization of not only black people, but the consumer against the corporation. Which one are you?
The consumer and the corporation. Actually, the the aspect, I would like to focus on the aspect that Public Enemy in their song criticized that the big fashion industry gets the money from the kids out of the neighborhood and doesn't bring it back.
I would say that when that record was done, that was probably accurate. Now it would be inaccurate because of records like his. What's happening now is that the major corporations are interested in one thing, and that's selling their product. And I don't even think that they should be interested in any other thing other than selling their product. They're interested in selling a product, which means that they don't care, or they shouldn't, and I would honestly say they should not be caring about whether the consumer is eating every night, or whether the consumer has a bed to sleep, or whether the consumer is being hired by them, or all of this type of stuff. I don't think that's the concern of any corporation, me personally. And in that instance, I guess I would differ with Chuck D in that opinion. However, if it wasn't for Chuck D saying what he said, I would have never been able to do a Sprite commercial myself. Because what Chuck did, and not only Chuck, but Chuck D, Jesse Jackson, a lot of the other activists that went up against the corporation saying, you're taking all this money out of the community, put something back. I don't know that that was accurate or an accurate argument morally and ethically, but it was an accurate strategy in bringing money into the black community to appeal to the guilt of the corporation. So I say that to say that the corporations, in my opinion, don't have an obligation to the people. I will say that straight out. The people have an obligation to themselves. If you like a product that a corporation is putting out, buy the product. If you don't like the product, don't buy the product. Whether the corporation is feeding you every day, whether the corporation makes sure you have a job every day, whether the corporation feels the corporation, why must the corporation take care of you and sell you a product? That shows weakness on your own part. Are you or are you not a man or a woman, or should I say a woman? The point here is that today, the corporation has gotten to a point where there's been so much guilt laid on them that they are hiring younger and younger and younger executives across the board, black, white, Spanish, Native American, people from other countries, so that nobody can say nothing bad about them. But what's happening now is that these younger executives are manipulating the image of the company as much as they can to make the company more hip, more aggressive, more progressive. And I think it's a good thing because it moves the company forward with the times. But in another breath, it might also weaken the community arguing against the company, because once again, we're begging to be down with massa.
So what are you promoting with your Nike commercial? Are you promoting something? How are you promoting Nike today?
Right. Well, with Nike, Nike was always a fashion statement in the hip hop community. All sneakers were a fashion statement in the hip hop community. And there's two things that an artist like myself is up against. One is the political ignorance of the people that I'm surrounded by, my own people. And I say political ignorance very respectfully because they don't study politics or political science, but they got all these beefs about politics and what the white man is doing. And so, on one breath, when I was called to do the Nike commercial, it was about redoing a song by Gil Scott-Heron called "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised," in which is a song that black people in particular take very, very close to heart. The revolution will not be televised. Now, when Gil Scott-Heron did that record, I don't think anybody in the 60s and early 70s realized how big television was actually going to be in society, because I think now the revolution will be televised, if you ask me. However, we did the song, and I think it was Nike's way of saying this is as close to a revolutionary message as we could possibly come. We are not a revolutionary company. We're not advocating no revolution. We're not trying to be down with no revolution. We're trying to sell a sneaker.
So today sneakers sell with revolution.
Sure, and it always has. Everything in capitalism is up for sale. The revolution, your behind, your mind, the company itself is up for sale. Everything is up for sale in capitalism. Now, if you have a problem with capitalism, there are many socialist and communist states that are countries that you can go to and live. However, we shouldn't be hypocritical about this. If you're going to live and flourish in capitalism and enjoy the fruits of capitalism, then you have to get in and fight with the big dogs. So Nike comes to me and says, Chris, you always wanted to get a revolutionary message across to a wide range of people. Here's your chance with our banner behind you. And with a sneaker behind you.
Well, doesn't it make it sound a little bit like a joke?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because think of it in terms of this. When I sell a record and advocate revolution, is that not a joke?
Well, it's in a different context.
Oh, no, it's not. Think of the vinyl, the cassette, and the CD as a pair of sneakers. It's just a different corporation. It's the same product. It's a product trying to be sold. So me as an artist, okay, I'm coming off of I want to advocate a message to the people. I honestly think that I have something relevant to say. I have a yearning in my own heart and mind to advance the minds of people across the board. But to do that, I can't do that standing on a box like MalcolmX used to do. Hey man, you got to get yourself together. That's not the times we're living in. We're living in a television, radio, a market which is so technical that you have satellites in the universe that can look down through walls and see things the size of a quarter. That's a different type of revolution. That's not the revolution of Malcolm X. That's not Martin Luther King's revolution. That's not Marcus Garvey's revolution. That's not the Black Panthers revolution. That's not Gil Scott-Heron's revolution. This is KRS One's revolution. I'm living in 1996, not 1956. And in 1996, I got technology coming at me at all different times, all kind of ways. How do I deal with that? I deal with that by, first of all, getting a job. You got to eat to survive. My job is that I'm a recording artist. Now, that's not who I am first. First, I'm a philosopher. First.
So if the revolution will be televised now, what are we going to see on TV?
The revolution.
What's it going to be like?
It's going to be a mental re-evolution of people's minds. The revolution is not about running down the street with a gun, shooting at who you think is the enemy. The revolution isn't even about all black people getting together. The revolution is not even about all white people getting together. It's not even about a group of people getting together. It's about controlling the information that's going into your mind that affects the actions that come after that information is in your mind. It's all about mind control. And this is also why fashion is such an important statement. What are you saying when you wear your clothes? When you wear a thong in an AIDS epidemic society, what are you saying about your mentality? When you walk down the street in a suit and tie, Wall Street, I'm going down, I'm working at Wall Street. in a society where the deficit is so high that we might one day get to a point where we're working only to pay taxes and then we are subsidized through milk, bread, and cheese from the government. We can get there real quick. If this deficit is not dealt with, if welfare is not dealt with, if healthcare is not dealt with quickly, we can be subsidized. We can all be on a line waiting for milk and cheese, having worked all week. But all of our money is gone to the deficit. Now, this is also this theory of mine is a theory, and it's also very metaphorical. But I say this to say that your statement with what you wear affects how you think. And what other people wear affects how you think. So if you are attracted to the woman with a thong or the man with a tight tank top t-shirt on, half naked, walking down the street with a tight bulge in the front of his private section, how are you thinking? Fashion dictates thought. And our fashion is saying what we think. If you notice, since the AIDS epidemic, more people have covered up their clothes. More people have worn more clothes covered up because we are afraid of touching one another now. Ebola is out. One touch, you're gone. So now we wear more clothing these days. But just a few years ago, 10, 15 years ago, it was nothing. Mini skirts was just, woo, we are out, mini skirt down, whoa. Watch the fashion this summer. You'll see more pants. You'll see more jackets. In the hotter climates, you'll see there'll always be a few people who just can't let go of the, I guess, sexually explicit clothing. And not that it's wrong, but it judges their frame of thinking. And so the revolution is about your mind controlling how you think, because the information that goes into your head is going to affect what you wear, what you eat, and what you wear and what you eat is going to affect to someone else who you are. And then they're going to react to you based on what you're eating and drinking and wearing and so on. And if you don't have control of that, you're not going to be in control of how people are coming to you and how you're coming to people. To me, that's the only true revolution. It is a mental one. It is control of your mind. Become unattached to all materialism. Use it to your advantage.
Ja, ich meine, sie ist jetzt schon schwer er redet jetzt schon 10 Minuten über der Zeit.
Und hast du noch Fragen?
Okay.
Nee, eigentlich nicht mehr, das war's
That's
jetzt.
the stuff I think.
Okay.
Yes, I'm being told to
pretty
rush out of
interesting,
here.
so-
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Hope you
a lot.
guys can edit this up. And,
This time we have it in the program.
good.
The whole
Okay.
stuff.
Hey, do it, whatever. Do I need to sign something?
No?
No.
Okay. Goodbye.